Your first time?
Yes.
It's my first time flying it by myself.
Darren taking the pole.
Liar. Hey, I wouldn't be coming up if you were
Do you
flying.
want me to slide that seat back? Alright, check your side one first. Because you'll want that in the centre.
Once that one goes in there.
Hey, woohoo!
Back memories, mate. Never mind. My hair, if you like. Put a bit back on my head.
Is that the most precious cargo you've ever flown, mate?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, it's the most precious to us. Jeez. Is it Pop or Granddad?
Granddad.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty popular. Yeah.
Pretty good being flown in by my grandson. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next shoot we do is with the Dreamliner, right, Craig?
It needs a different runway.
Wow. Well, this is very cool.
It is a wow.
Now this is just the blokes, but look at all these amazing ladies that stand over here because That lady with the iPad, she goes pretty good too. Look at all those people there. And there's Pedro and Tomo and Belly. And here we are at Claremont Speedway. And firstly, Darren Nash, let's just start with you for a second, because you used to get around this place pretty well, but your kid got around better in better style just then, I reckon.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Probably a lot more expensive too.
So we talked about this idea about, because originally it was Craig looking spectacular in mixed gear. That's what inspired this 10 years ago.
I know.
Wow.
There's a time go, Mick. And it was a phone conversation. I said, let's get your old man as well. Let's have, Mick and Dennis there. And you, when did you suddenly think, let's go next level?
Yeah, so I was sitting at the workship and I was thinking about it. I was on my way home and I was like, you know what? We haven't really got many chances of doing this. Let's just do it properly and do it once. I was like, let's get a helicopter. I know a guy.
Do you know a guy that flies helicopters?
Yeah.
So what did he say when he rang you up, Aaron? What was the...
I was at family dinner at Mum and Dad's place, and he goes, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if we got the chopper?" And I was like, "Well, let's just do it."
Yeah.
Oh, you reckon? And yeah, so obviously got the machine and we got permission to land and made it happen. Mate of mine.
Your worker's dad.
Yeah. Warren from Air Electech. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a champion, and he's made the machine available to us, which is fantastic. Not many people would do that.
How many years have you been flying choppers, mate?
I've had my license 9 years, so 10, 12, 11 years or something. Yeah.
So your kid's had his license for a helicopter 12 years, Nashy. How old does that make you?
I'm pretty old. He was the second youngest commercial pilot in Australia. So there you
Is that
go.
right?
Yeah, he was 12.
At which point, Mick, did you know you were going in a helicopter and this whole thing had gone crazy?
Yeah, about 3/4 of the way through this week. And,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit of a shock.
But what an opportunity, Dennis. I mean, it's pretty cool that your grandson flies you in like that.
Well, something that'll never ever happen. I don't think anybody else has ever happened.
Yeah.
And it's good now. I'm over 70, 73 the other day, and I can still go. And I've got 2 Vincents, and we've got the only ones in WA that run. And Darren and I can go and have a play. So it was good the other night. I was riding one and stolen a passenger out of the pits. And Darren was riding the other one, and Arron alongside him. So it was sort of 3 generations. Which,
What are you doing, Craig? You're letting down the team, mate. Why aren't you out there riding with Dad?
I've got nothing.
Georgia got on the bike before. She looked pretty stylish on the... You liked riding on the bike before, Georgia, didn't you?
Yeah, it was fun.
Can you bring that picture over that's in that frame that you were just talking about, Dennis? Because that's the shot that we're just talking about. This is very, very special. So this is basically going to be Georgia and Craig on the outside of Mick at some point on the solo. You're okay with that?
No problem.
So explain what's going on in that photo, Dennis. So who's that?
Pinjar Speedway.
Yep.
One of the classic nights, and buzz back to Claremont sort of thing.
Yep.
And so Darren rides the old HRD 1948, and the one I'm riding is 1951 Vincent. And so we rebuilt it because it was manufactured the same year as I was. So I thought, well, it's worth restoring. So that's what we've done. And and wished of course I'd had that when I was young and floating around Australia trying to win an Australian title at first place.
Getting ready for the sidecar handicap over 4 laps. Ian Jones quickly into stride off the scratch mark. He leads them into Pitts Bend for the first time. Second place is Hollywood Barry Farley. Big Clayton Mills is making his presence well and truly felt as they move down the back straight. Des Taylor's gone wide on the track as Hollywood takes the lead. Barry Farley takes the lead, but not for long as Ian Jones fights back on the outside. This is great sidecar action. Out of turn number 4, they come down the main straight. Ian Jones just leading. Barry Farley on 27, then back there to number 13, Dennis Nash. Dennis Nash is great there. Ian Jones fights back underneath Barry Farley. This is great sidecar action as down the back straight they go once again. Farley again trying to get this is a brilliant race. Farley out there, but Dennis Nash on the outside with a devastating piece of riding and showing a little bit of skiting there as he waves his arm in the air, and certainly something that a rider of his calibre should never ever try on a speedway track. But there he is, Dennis Nash leading this event as he moves out of turn number 2 down the back straight. Number 13, Dennis Nash. In second place and going well is Barry Farley on machine number 27. Back there in third place, number 9, Clayton Mills. But they move out of turn number 4, the yellow flag's out. Dennis Nash on machine number 13. 27 there is Barry Farley. Back to number 9, Big Clayton Mills, and then 41 there, Ed Blakeney. But the last time through Pittsbend and out of turn number 2, the deadly duo of West Australian Sidecar Racing, after a torrid start, have taken the lead very comfortably indeed as they move out of turn number 4. On machine number 13 will go across the line to win this event in second place, 27 Barry Farley. Back there to number 9 in third place, Big Clayton Mills, and 41 Ed Blakeney. And the time for 4 laps on the wins time board was 1 minute 40.47.
Yeah, wow.
We ran third on a Vincent in Adelaide, Rowley Park in 1971. So, but after that, it eluded me for about another 4 years. So, yeah, but it's quite interesting because it's 50 years since I rode a Vincent around here.
Wow.
In January.
Wild crash. Clayton Mills has been unceremoniously dumped.
They call them the bravest men and women of Speedway, riding machines powered by a 1000cc engine, churning out well over 150 horsepower and reaching incredible speeds.
At about 110 k's, and there's no place for the weak at heart in this sport.
This stake title brings together some of the country's leading lights. Defending champion Mark Drew is as confident as ever, despite a passenger replacement a few weeks ago.
We had an accident a few weeks ago where passenger Tina broke her ankle, and I've put a replacement passenger of Chris Page on. We've taken a couple of weeks to get the bike ready, but I think it's as good as what it's ever going to be.
At a little over 5'2", petite little Tina Karen is not your stereotype sidecar passenger, but she's missing her chance to defend the title.
Obviously, no one likes being sidelined, and certainly not for the state title.
Bit of frustration there.
Very frustrating, yeah.
Second generation racer Darren Nash is in with a big shot at the title as well, receiving a helping hand from his father Dennis during the week.
He's been helping us out with whatever we need, checking over the bike. He's got vast experience, so he's been helping us out with whatever we need.
Dennis Nash himself is sidecar racing's most decorated rider, with a list of achievements as long as your arm.
I've won 9 West Australian titles, 5 Australian titles, I think 3 best pairs, and the rest I've forgotten about.
Nash came from the hurly-burly days of the 70s, where the low-slung aerodynamic sidecars of today were a far cry from the brutish machines of that era. Sidecar racing itself has evolved the most out of the divisions in Speedway.
Steering geometry has been a big thing that we've all played with. I built an extremely low one years ago, and what we've tried to do is keep everything as high as the actual wheels, and everything sits down in between it all. Weight, another thing. We're down to, the Yamaha motor now weighs 63 kilos, and an old Vincent motor weighs nearly 200 kilos.
The radical aerodynamics of the modern day outfits were introduced 15 years ago to reduce the pain for passengers during racing.
Any rotating surfaces are to be covered, because there was nothing out of the ordinary for a passenger to come back with burnt arms and burnt legs, because another rider had put his front wheel in, lean against the passenger, and he'd be the first one to jump back in the sidecar, and then naturally they turned left.
Second year passenger Peter Teal tried Claremont out the old way, and he looked anything but comfortable on the cramped confines of the ageing Kawasaki.
No room on the back of those things. No, it was a bit tight there. I was looking around trying to find somewhere to put my knee, but it was pretty hard.
Wade Ornger reporting for Night Thunder.
Wow. So you've had some spectacular performances and appearances around this place, mate. But I've got to say that your wife is renowned for one of her spectacular appearances on this track as well. Do you care to recall that story?
Well, one night the track was extremely rough, and I'd already crashed, and Darren was about to go out again, and then said the track's just too rough, so she jumped the fence and stopped, said the Speedway stopped and said degrade it. Yeah. And that was the end of that. And
did you look up and suddenly you see your wife standing at the tapes?
So somebody came over to me and said, "Go get your wife off." So I'm not that game.
Even Miles didn't want to tangle with her.
Miles wouldn't tangle.
Wow.
So that was, I think it was Jeffrey Gidders went and said, "Come on, Lynn, I think, they'll fix the track for us. It'll be all right."
Now, that was one of the most amazing, emotional, nostalgic, incredible things that a wife has done on a racetrack. There's some incredible images of your mum, Craig, Doreen, running onto the track when you won here, wrapping her arms around your neck. Like, that was phenomenal, Mick. Like, that still gives me goosebumps thinking about different kind of appearance that your wife made.
Yeah.
That was special.
Yeah, I didn't need a third wheel to guide me around. Dennis does.
Oh, Oh, wow.
And then I needed somebody on the side to tell me which way to go.
That was what event was that, Mick? Do you remember what event that was?
That was the
All Nations?
All Nations Cup.
Just a couple of average hackers that rode that night. Graham McKeon was it? Hello, Graham McKeon, by the way.
Well, they were all world champions.
Yeah.
And I think it was a 7-heat event. And the thing I remember, you won 6. And I said, when you go out on this one, stop. Excuse my mucking about. If you don't win this one, don't come back in here.
Wow. So Graham was the leveller.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. He said he didn't like you wasted too much time. He wanted you down at the tapes, touch the tape once and get the starter ready.
Don't go down kicking all the dirt around. Just get ready and go.
Yeah, the gardening thing does my head in these days. Everybody did the same thing, didn't they? I don't know when it started that way.
It was how it is how it is, you know.
Yeah.
What you try and do is try and get on a bit of ground that wasn't dug up. Because later on in life when we started building low liners, we only had sort of 40 mil clearance. And if you went into somebody else's hole, you were bogged. So we used to go and try and find another high spot all the time. So sometimes you take off, the next thing you're skating sideways, heading down their hole. You know, it's the whole thing would go. That just made life more interesting. Means you didn't have to run into the end of the straight. You got them all at the start.
Darren, you told me about the first time you ever went with Dad on the sidecar, and you thought at probably that time, I don't think this is for me, right?
Yeah. No, I thought I might die, yeah.
I felt the same way, actually, just recently.
Yeah, you know how I feel.
Yeah. So where was that?
That was Ellenbrook Speedway, yeah. We went up there and Dad, I was starting to ride then, and Dad said, I'll take you out and show you what you got to do. I'm thinking, oh, okay, this will be fun. Scared the shit out of me. So, I remember that forever, but lots of good memories in the Speedway. Big family.
I mean, the moments that you all have had around this place, and Russell too. Russell was a hell of a rider. Very smooth. Probably more of a road racer in that early.
Yeah, he did. He went road racing and dominated the road racing, in WA.
Another great field as they press the tape. Men and women in this race. The last of them moving up on the outside.
Tape.
Away they go.
Tape's flying that time as he moves into Foulhouse Corner. The track is styling in beautifully as they move out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. In second place and going very well indeed. That's the younger brother of Nash. So that's the Nash is running 1 and 2 at the moment here in the sidecar handicap heat number 2. Number 61, Russell Nash, I should say, in second place. So number 4, the race leader, rider Darren Nash, the passenger Terry Harvey. In second place, the elder brother Russell Nash, and then back to number 10, Glenn O'Brien. And one rider looks like he lost a bit of fairing then, but he's okay. The race continues on. The yellow flags out from John Day as they move down the back straight for the last time. There's no doubt about this young fella, a Nash Knight, as Darren Nash and Terry Harvey go across the line first on number 4. 61 Russell Nash and Peter Teal in second place. Then back to number 10, Glenn O'Brien, and his passenger, that's Nathan O'Brien, his younger brother.
Yeah. So what was it like for you swinging on the side of the old man? That's pretty special too.
Yeah, awesome. Get to do it every year. We sort of make it a tradition now, so it's good fun. Gives you a bit of workout. You start using muscles you haven't used for a while.
So when we had our group discussion about, how we should get everybody together, there was one person in this group that said, I don't think I should be in this. I won, what was the wording you used? Like one BMX race or something like that?
Participation at the Westside BMX Club when I was 10, and that was the peak of my capabilities.
So I got to say that, Craig, only one of us here is flying Dreamliners to London every few days. So you know what? Things have worked out pretty good for that BMX petition trophy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think Dad always tried to keep me away from the bikes and the danger, and I am very risk adverse, so I'm probably in the right job.
Did you never think about it?
Not really, no. I just didn't have that drive. Probably after the fact, I enjoy watching it, but no, I never really wanted to jump on one.
Can you give us your welcome patter? Your pilot patter when you welcome people on the flight. What do you say?
Oh, you just make it up as you go. Ladies and gentlemen. I actually can't say ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
no.
That's right.
Oh, my God. There's no one politically correct in this group. Go on.
But I like to take the Jim Nance approach.
Yes.
When he welcomes people to Pebble Beach, he says, hello, friends. So I say, hello, friends.
Nice.
Welcome on board Qantas Flight 9 through to London. Hope you enjoy the service. We'll get back to you at the top of climb with some further details. off we go.
So you're as it Captain McKeon? Like, what is the reference point?
I'm a second officer.
Okay.
So we take 4 of us on the flight.
Yeah.
There's always 2 up the front, 2 on rest because it's 18 hours, and we're basically just managing rest to get us all the way there.
I feel sorry for people that don't realise when he says Second Officer Craig McKeon, that they don't realise that's Mighty Mick's kid flying me up there. Like that's super special.
So see if you can get us all discount while you're
Yeah, Mick already does that. Where'd you fly to recently? San Francisco or something?
Yeah,
Or?
I've just come home from work and Craig was ringing me on from he landed in Sydney. He said, Dad, I know it's a bit short notice, but tomorrow if you want to join me, we can go to San Francisco. So I had to tell the boys at work that I wasn't coming in for the next week.
Oh well, it happens.
Yeah.
Where do you take your old man, Darren? Kennington?
No, sometimes a local Chinese restaurant.
The memories that you two have of racing around here, and Darren too, I'm not going to disinclude you in this, Darren. You were phenomenally fast around here. What an incredible place for you all. How many memories when you drove through well, you don't drive through the gate. We drove through the gate, Darren, didn't we? These guys flew
I hope
in.
you blokes paid because Con will be upset.
There's no place like this. Even still sitting here, it's got a magic all about it, doesn't it?
Great place, yeah. Lots of memories.
Lots of memories.
Lots of incidents, but the thousands of people that came over the years, I'd hate to count the numbers, but still one of probably the greatest spectacle sports in WA.
The solo star scratch race. The riders all in order. Number 18, Kevin Webb on the pole position. Away and racing. The first man to move away that time was Mighty Mick McKeon on machine number 7. Into Foul House corner for the first time. Clayton Isbell out wide, Hyde Wide and Handsome on machine number 6. There in second place is Glyn Taylor, but down the back straight, Mighty Mick McKeon riding the fully imported Godden machine from England, which was bought for him by leading Perth plumber in Bob Leask. Out of turn number 4, 1 lap down and 2 to go. McKeon on number 7, leading in second place, Glyn Taylor. Back there in third place is number 28. That's young Guy Wilson, but Mick McKeon has been all dominant in solo racing in Western Australia so far this season. Made a comeback after 3 seasons out of the saddle and already has become one of the most prominent riders. Out of turn number 4, the yellow flag comes out. Number 7 in Mighty Mick McKeon. Second place and going hard is Glyn Taylor. Back to number 28, Guy Wilson. But the last time through Foul House corner, Mick McKeon working very hard. A classic shot from our Channel 7 cameras here in Perth as through Pitts Bend for the last time. The former 4 times West Australian solo champion, Mighty Mick McKeon, will go across the line to win this event from number 4, Glyn Taylor. Back there in third place and going very hard indeed is number 28, Guy Wilson. And a long gap back to 4th place machine, number 18, Kevin Webb. And the wins time, the fastest for this season, 1:30.72.
The girls came down before from the office and they're like, oh, we saw some old pictures in the office here. And I dragged out an old YouTube video of you just menacing everybody around here in the 70s. I remember it was late 70s. Con was brand new to the commentary, it sounded like. And they went, wow. Like, it's hard to get your head around it now when you look at it. It's just all grass. In fact, another little twist, Aaron. What was the twist you told me before about who you met here?
Oh, next week will be 10 years ago. I met my wife on the oval just out here.
Yeah, which should be great, but now listen to the rest of the story. And what were you doing here?
Music festival.
Music festival. We had music festivals here too. Neil Diamond played at it.
Every Friday.
Yes, we played that music as we came in here.
Yeah.
Do you have a most special moment at all, Dennis? Is there one that stands above all else, apart from when Mrs. Nash climbed the fence?
I remember, I think it was the last Australian title that we won here, and I remember being over the far corner over there and coming belting into the corner, and we just passed Sewell and a couple other bods, and I thought the noise was incredible, and I thought this thing's about to explode, and just a different noise. I thought internal hemorrhage for sure. And as we came through the corner a little bit further, it got louder, and it was the crowd yelling. And the first time I've ever heard the crowd yelling over a motorbike. So that was, so that's something I'll remember till I take to the grave. And everybody, when you stood around the end, everybody at the end, because I think we'd started off badly and sort of just cleaned to show up at the end. But so there's lots of other things. Now motorbikes, I enjoy going playing with Darren and that. We travel over the east a bit.
Yeah.
And I think we might be going again in June. And Russell and I, Russell's been playing with Aussie Gold for the last few years since he stopped playing motorbikes.
Yep.
So Russell and I just bought a lease up north. So we're going playing chasing gold again.
Wow.
So,
You did a bit of that here, but you probably got a better chance of actually getting some up there.
Oh yeah, So we'll go find some proper gold. Yeah.
I remember people on the back straight, Mick, at the end of the races would stand up on the seats in the back and hold their programs up as you rode past. That was like a show of respect.
Yeah. And like Dennis is saying, a couple of nights the same here when we've had titles, and the crowd, when it's a big crowd and they make a roar, boy oh boy, it just makes the goosebumps on the back of your neck stand up.
Yeah.
And it feels as if you go another yard, you'll go even harder.
Yeah.
I experienced that once at Brisbane, at the Brisbane exhibition.
Yep.
It was Australia versus England test match, and I came between two English riders, finished halfway up the fence but stayed on, and on the last lap come across the line in first place, and it was just spine tingling.
Do you think the crowd pushes you along?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of respect and understanding of the football players.
Yeah.
You really do get a feel of what it does to you.
Well, congratulations, mighty Mick McKeon, on that fine win in the Solo Stars scratch race.
Thanks very much, Connor. It was a fantastic feeling to be out in front.
Well, Mick, we've seen you return after 3 seasons out of the saddle. How does it feel to be back racing once again?
I'm thoroughly enjoying it, Connor. It's been a fabulous break from the sport, but it's certainly great to be back out there and in a winning style too.
Well, Bob Leask, a former West Australian solo champion, helped you with your comeback. Can you tell me a little bit about the bike that you're riding?
Yes, Bob's bought the bike. It's a Godden motor that's been imported from Britain, and they're the latest that they're using on the Europe long track. And with Claremont being the track that it is, the size, they reckoned that it would be very good for this track, and it certainly turned out to be a winner.
But I can remember going to Mildura on a little tiny track and then touching up the local star and use the mob turn against it fast.
Well, there was word getting around, wasn't there, that the small track was going to be no good for you?
No good for me, yeah, no. I can ride around a big track, so we proved them wrong.
Every time you rode past him, you put a finger up, didn't you? Said, that's one.
That's two.
That's two.
3, 4. We did this 5 straight and said, well, that's it. In the bag. We're going home now. Yeah, but there's a few sooks amongst them.
You know the beautiful part about this place? Every sedan, sprint car, speed car, Formula 500 driver knew every solo rider, every sidecar rider, because it was a community. You know what I mean? You guys would go and watch the speedway guy, the car guys after you finished. After you went up to the bar, probably had a couple at the Swan Lager can. But everybody knew everybody, and you told me about a story about your dad snuck you in the pits for a demolition derby to watch you and Russell.
Yeah, so just one of the memories for me, like we're probably like 10 or 12 or something, and Dad's just wiped the floor with everybody from 280 metres or whatever, week after week, and then he'd sneak us in the pits past Tiny, and then he'd lift us up onto the old horse stables. We get up there and we lay there and watch the demo derby and watch the fireworks, and you can still smell the methanol and the horse shit, and off you go home. It was great, fantastic memories.
Wow, just what a special era. When I easily dragged up the YouTube video to show the people the RS, and thank you so much to Hope and the team for letting us do this today, and dragged up a video of you just here, and the joint's absolutely full. I mean, like full.
I can remember all the kids in the trees over there. The tree's gone now, when the track used to be right out there, and the tree would be absolutely full of kids,
Yep.
Oh yeah, and you would think, and it used to be, pods would come down at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and stick their blankets up over there on the bin, and this is my spot. And nobody encroached on it. It was royalty. That was my spot. And that's the story. And you'd see people, you would recognise faces as you rode around. Oh yeah, I can see him. He was here last week. He was there. You'd see the same bods.
That's so true.
Yeah, I remember taking off over there 220 metres, and after 220 metres, every time I won a race, I had to go back 10 metres. And at the end I said, no more boys, I'm not going back any further. And then I made it a maximum of 100 metres.
Yeah, right.
Because I said everybody else should be made to go faster, not me. And a couple of times we rode into a heap of dirt, and there's pods everywhere in front of you, didn't know who it, and you were doing 25 kilometres an hour faster than them, and I got one in the back end, and I said, that's it, no more. Yeah, we're not riding off the back that far back. I need to be able to close enough I could smell them. Let alone over there, you're guessing where they were.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, no.
Mick, was Major the best that you ever rode against?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. But a lot of guys that had natural talent, Peter Collins and Bruce Pennell,
Yeah.
they were just phenomenal guys to watch. The Moran brothers, they just had more ability in their left leg than I had, but
They might not have had your heart, Mick.
Yeah,
you had a pretty mighty heart, mate.
Yeah. But a lot of them, when they came to Claremont, were frightened of the place because it was so big.
Yeah.
Big, yeah.
And that was my advantage. I loved it.
Yeah.
The faster I went, the happier I was. So I don't know if that's been sensible or brave or half silly, but it certainly did the job for me around here.
You've got a hat on at the moment. Your brother told me a bit of a rumour that you went a bit girly, you went a little fangirl around Ty Wolfenden. Is that true, Mick?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, how could you not be about a young guy that grew up here in Perth and has won 3 world titles? He's just a legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
And we can call him our own.
Yes, and we will. It's incredible to think you got to do all that with your brother too. Like Graham shared in your greatest moments as your tuner, as your mentor, your ass kicker, all those sort of things.
Oh, yeah, no, he was fantastic. I think anybody that would have had Graham behind them would have done very well.
Glenn Taylor didn't.
No.
He'll be watching this, I'm sure, so you better say hi to Glenn because
G'day, mate. How are
you two had phenomenal rivalry, didn't you?
Event number 9, the solo handicap. Backmarker in this event, West Australian champion Mick the Master McKeon. The way in racing is Kevin Webb quickly into stride, leads him out in machine number 17. Then we find back on the outside number 14, Keith Wright at a rate of knots off. Brilliant solo action. There's Keith Wright in blue leathers. He takes the lead with a paralysing burst of speed. The whole field is bunched up as Glyn Taylor now takes over second place. But out in front, current machine number 14, that's young Keith Wright. Out of turn number 4 and down the main straight, 1 lap down and 2 to go, and there's a great action as the former WA champion Glyn Taylor takes the lead in the West Australian champion number 7 Mick the Master McKeon battling with this rider as they move down the back straight. Glyn Taylor, a former 2 times West Australian champion and the 5 times and current West Australian champion Mick McKeon on the outside. Beautiful solo action as they move out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. Well, there's plenty of action. Glyn Taylor on machine number 4. Back in second place, still number 7. There's number 14, Keith Wright. Number 8, young Glenn Doyle as they move down the back straight. Plenty of solo action here at the national capital of speed. But Glyn Taylor in devastating form. Out of turn number 4 will go across the line to get the double checkered flag from General John Day. Back to number 7, the West Australian champion Mick the Master McKeon. Back in third place, number 8, Glenn Doyle. Then number 14 was young Keith Wright.
We had a great rivalry, and strangely enough, in the early days, my mum used to work at the Bright Spot at the Subiaco Oval in Claremont Speedway.
Yep.
And Glenn and I, unknown in those days, used to run around on the grass over here in front of the hamburger store, pretending to be Chum Taylor, which his dad used to come down. And
that's cool.
We used to knock each other around on the grass down there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then you ended up knocking each other around on the dirt out there.
We did, yeah, but had great respect for each other.
Yeah.
Leave each other enough room, or just tighten the belt a bit much if you were getting too close.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was a great rider, really great natural ability, and he's gone on and lived in England for many years.
When was the last
bikes.
time you rode here? What year?
87.
Yeah,
How old were you, Craig?
Yeah, I was 4. That was the year my sister Fiona was born, and
Yep. So do you recall that then?
I do. Yeah, I've got very vague memories, but yeah, being here and I do remember the twilight of the career, and you sort of look back at footage and videos and sort of hit yourself being here. You used to sit here with Janet Day and all the Day clan on the main straight here. They had their spot, and very fond memories. It's definitely a happy place.
Georgia doesn't have she has the benefit of youth on her side, and she could bench press your solo, by the way. I'm pretty sure she's kicking your ass at the gym, Mick. I'm just saying your daughter is but she's a paramedic, so she can look after you. That's the good part about it. Did you ever get a sense then, as you got older, of Mick's legacy and people like me that constantly remind you? But I mean, to you, he's just dad, and to Georgia, he's dad, and your sister is dad, but he's Mick McKeon.
Yeah, it's funny when you come to the Speedway, even now you go to Kwinana or Pinjar, and it's dad, but it's someone else. There's a bit of a rock star in the building, and it's he's the most humble rock star, that's for sure. And but you do kind of feel like you're I'm the entourage sidekick walking alongside with the famous guy. So it's very very special, and I do love going to Speedway and being involved with it, and it's been from those origins, that's for sure.
Hey, and Wade, it's a lot to do with people like yourself, Con Migro.
Yeah, Con was
you know,
amazing
the way
at that
that he promoted the sport.
Yeah.
And then individually, each and every rider and competitor.
Made you all heroes, didn't he? Like, you know, heroes and villains.
Yes, heroes and villains. You had to have a villain to have a hero.
Yeah.
Tonight's Speedway replay promises to be a classic affair. Good evening, I'm Con Migro, and welcome to Channel 7 for the 1985 Speedway replays from the National Capital Speed, Winfield Claremont Speedway. The major attractions tonight are the Charlie Carter's Grand National Sedan Classic, featuring WA champion Big Bad Bert Bosbergen, and the Channel 7 Sprint Car Western Atlas with a record field of 23 nominations. For the first time in over 30 years, we welcome back stock cars. A full supporting program of solos, sidecars and Formula 500s promise to keep you entertained for the next hour. Now sit back, relax and enjoy the greatest speedway on earth.
We talked about Russell Mitchell before, didn't we, Darren? He'll be watching this at some point, I'm sure. So Russell was one of the and Drewy and all those sort of guys. So I was asking Sally before. She never really followed the solos. Like, she was more into the sedan side of things. So her brother was heavily involved in sedans. So she really, when she met you, she didn't actually know who you were. So
Correct, yeah.
I was introduced to him as Mick, but then when we started dating, I had to call him Michael because his family called him Michael, and only Speedway and work people called him Mick.
I thought it was Mighty Mick.
Yeah, that's right.
I never ever heard of him called anything else.
We discussed the Michael thing earlier, didn't we? And you said, what's his whole name?
Michael John
Yeah.
McKeon.
Do you ever call him Michael John?
Only when he's bad.
I knew I was in trouble when my mother called me Michael John.
Yeah, wow.
I'd either run or stand to attention.
Wow. Darren, did you get a sense of Dad's mega stardom around this place as a kid?
Of course, you know, grew up around the Speedway, so everywhere you went was, you know, everybody obviously knew who he was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, look, nothing bad memories. It's bloody great. I mean, if you grew up in somebody's shadow, at least you got some shade. It's my way to live.
But mate, you and Russell both rode around here with significant success.
Yeah.
You know, but bloody hard to ride in the shadow of someone like that. A lot of expectation.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's it. And look, I just take it in stride. I just treated it as fun. Like, even now,
Did you?
Yeah.
It was fun, was it?
Yeah, it was fun.
I don't know, Tomo, do you remember it looking like fun to me? I don't think it looked like fun to me. You were getting after it.
Yeah, I did go after it early days, and then I think when I started to realise that, you know, some things are just unachievable, and you've got to be happy with where you get to. And I'm there now. Like, I love what I do now. I play road racing and, you know, some dirt bike stuff, and still play Speedway every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, ride Tony's bike, Tony Shields. You know, set me up on a bike, and we rode that for a few years and won a few state titles. So that's great. Had a ball.
How lucky are we all to experience this?
Fantastic.
I mean, I just get to sit here. Like, Tomo's over here as well, and so is Kevin Bell, and Pedro's over here. He did some fantastic caricatures back in the day of you guys as well. But
extremely lucky. We've had 25 years of Speedway and it all still works. And Mick too.
Have you ever been on a bike with Dennis?
No.
Hey, Sally. Do you mind if I get Michael John to go on with Dennis? Hey, that's never happened?
No.
I don't think you've ridden passenger, have you?
Only once.
Only once?
Down at Bunbury.
It was silly enough once.
Yeah. Just once. Yeah.
Who with?
That was...
Gee.
I've forgotten his name now.
It was with not Dennis Nash.
No, it wasn't Dennis. It was on a Sunday, on the day after the Speedway.
Day after the meeting.
Yeah.
Hey.
Track would have been perfect.
Word of warning, mate, the last time I went on with Dennis, we flipped the bike and broke a few bits.
It's truly remarkable to be back here with you guys. It's just such a special thing. Darren, well done, mate. Like, great thinking on that.
You, mate.
And thank you.
Making it happen. Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron, for bringing him in style, because I think the only other bloke I saw come into this place was Gary Rush. He came in a helicopter as well. We actually told the crowd he wasn't going to make it. He missed his flight, and we flew it in the Channel 7 chopper. He came in, the place was erupted. And Rushy said it's the only time he's never had to pay to get in.
But he couldn't hide anybody in the boot either. So.
Yeah. So you used to hide in the boot?
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
All of a sudden everyone's got very nervous. Thank you so much for, as always, humouring me. Happy birthday, Mick.
Thanks, mate.
When is it your birthday? This weekend?
On the 4th Monday, the public holiday.
Oh, they've even given you a public holiday for your
Not
birthday.
bad, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. I'll give you a birthday present. You can ride with Nashy.
What sort of present that's going to be.
Promise, no round backwards.
Wow, Friday night is Speedway night. We almost made it. We're Thursday, right?
Thursday, a day early. This is
No,
practice.
this is practice. It would have been practice. Exactly right. All right, let's take that gorgeous helicopter off and you can fly back home after we have a couple of waters to think about it.
Perfect.
Friday night is Speedway night!